Rakeem Myers, also known as A$AP Rocky, was born in 1988 in Harlem, a place rich in artistic culture and history, however simultaneously filled with violence. So, it's no surprise that someone as artistically gifted as A$AP Rocky would also have one of the most traumatizing upbringings in hip-hop, being the youngest of 3 siblings, having one older sister named Erica and an older brother named Ricky. For a time, Rocky lived in Pennsylvania in relative peace with his family. It was at age 9 that he began to rap, being taught by his older brother Ricky. 3 years later, when Rocky was 12 years old, his father was sent to jail for selling drugs and sadly passed away in 2012, around the time Rocky released his first album. Without his father, Rocky's family struggled to make ends meet and were sent into homelessness soon after. His mother moved the family to North Carolina in hopes of a better life there, but they were met with an equal amount of struggle. So, the family finally decided to move back to New York City because there, at least they could struggle in an environment they knew. A year after his father was sent to prison, Rocky's older brother was gunned down in 2001 in Harlem.
Tell me, coming up in Harlem, I know just from being a Tupac head myself, he was born there. Does that influence you at all?
What, Tupac?
Yeah,
being
Pac,
from Harlem?
yeah.
Yo, it does. Believe it or not, he was born in the same hospital. He was born, if I'm not mistaken, he was born in St. Luke's, you know? And I was born in St. Luke's. He lived on 116th Street in Morningside. I was born on 116th in Morningside. My brother died on 116th in Morningside.
The French braids Rocky is famous for wearing were a tribute to his older brother, as he often wore his hair like that. After losing his older brother, Rocky continued moving around homeless shelters with his mother and his sister, and in a desperate attempt to take care of them, he began selling drugs for a source of income. After living for a period of time in a shelter with his mother, Rocky moved to Midtown Manhattan using the money he accumulated. In 2004, Rocky served 2 weeks in Rikers Island for drug dealing, where he shared a cell with future rapper Casanova.
All the niggas was loving me because I was some skinny nigga, pretty boy nigga on the island. Feel me? I only had to fight one nigga, got that nigga up out of there, thank God. Yeah, I had to fight some nigga in the bathroom, no homo. We slipping on semen. Niggas was jerking off in the bathroom, nigga. I got that nigga up out of there, all that shit. You know, this is parts of the story that I don't like to tell because it don't sound believable. Not only that, what I got to prove by telling niggas I've been on the island, I was in jail, all of that don't mean nothing to me. Have it. You know what I mean? So long story short, the nigga, I'm in the back, I see the Casanova cat, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Cause and I'm like, yo, what's your name, B? Like, they call me Casanova. I'm like, oh, word? Like, yeah, like what they call you. Like, in here they call me Harlem, but my name Rocky. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, cool. That was my man. He held me down that whole time, type shit, like giving me pointers. Like, it was to the point where I ain't have beef to the point where he had to protect me or nothing, but the nigga definitely was real nigga, and I was the only nigga he befriended. And so I need to tell the whole story. So then, basically, we standing outside our doors. This nigga talking crazy to all them niggas like, yo, y'all niggas is pussy in this house. This about to be my house. My first couple days smiling. Y'all know how I give it up. Going crazy. I'm like, yo, this nigga, mind you, my cell is here, his cell is, my cell is here, his cell is here. So I'm like, and he talking, cause if you that nigga, you get the cell all the way down there. He like, this about to be my house. Y'all niggas pussy. He dead beat up the nigga, took the nigga house. But mind you, that's my last day he doing that. So I was good regardless though, but like as soon as I left, my man's the nigga who, he loved me.
He wasn't even expecting you to pop for him or nothing. He was just going for it.
Bro, niggas was shook at that nigga. I swear to God.
Frustrated with constantly worrying about having to get money through dirty means, Rocky began taking rap seriously in 2005 at the age of 17. 2 years later, in 2007, A$AP Rocky joined the A$AP Mob Crew, a Harlem-based collective of rappers, producers, music video directors, fashion designers, and bikers who shared similar interests in music, fashion, style, and art, formed by the late A$AP Yams, A$AP Bari, and A$AP Ills. The acronym A$AP stands for a few things: always strive and prosper, assassinating snitches and police, and the collective's favorite meaning being acronym symbolizing any purpose. After 5 years of being with this collective, Rocky was introduced to a network of creatives, from the likes of ex-collaborator Space Ghost Perp, who heavily influenced not only Rocky's, but the entirety of A$AP's musical and artistic style, to current close friend and fellow fashion enthusiast, Ian Connor. Even within the fast-paced life of New York City, this crew was always the first to see and pursue new endeavors in art. They were trendsetters, not followers. Rocky stated, quote, "We used to wear Gucci loafers when they were still wearing Air Maxes," he said. "We were the only young cats sipping lean in 2007, 2008, sipping promethazine and codeine. The drugs being infamous in the Houston rap scene. So, it's no surprise that when Rocky dropped his first hit single, Purple Swag, it carried a heavy Houston influence to it. Its slow and woozy style, something never before seen in New York. The video was released in July 2012 and featured a white girl wearing gold fronts, rapping the N-word to help it go even more viral. 2 months later, A$AP Rocky quit selling drugs and began working on music full time. While the song and video gained a significant amount of views, not everyone that saw it was a fan. In an interview, Rocky stated, quote, "New York gave me hell for that Purple Swag, man. They didn't respect me into a peso." Within a week of the Purple Swag video's release, A$AP Rocky was taking meetings with major labels, or in many cases, dodging them, including asking one executive to take him shopping at Barney's and then skipping the meeting entirely. He eventually closed a deal for $3 million by RCA Records. Being the only one in the group to really gain fame and money, Rocky made sure to take care of his crew, as well as put them on towards their own sources of income.
He's the big brother.
He's the big brother. That's the platform right there. He set it up to where, you feel me, he don't necessarily feed us. Rocky seen us with millions in his pocket while me and Bari broke, but he set it up to where he'd teach us how to cook. Now we eat. We straight. Me and my brother straight. Cardi straight. You feel me? So that's what Rocky is. He teaches. That's like a father figure in my life. That's a big brother. Just the same way Bari is.
In 2011, on Halloween, Rocky released his debut mixtape titled Live Love A$AP. Much like Purple Swag, it featured sounds never before heard of in New York before. The album in whole is psychedelic and slow, and each song takes bits and pieces of inspiration from everywhere hip-hop is seen. That is, everywhere except for New York. Something so new and innovative had never been done before in hip-hop in general, and New York hip-hop in particular prior to Rocky. Although New York is the birthplace of hip-hop, the heavy history of culture is almost like a double-edged sword, as it forces new generations to follow in the footsteps of older generations. Rocky was the first to challenge that trend, and because of that, he received love everywhere else before receiving love in New York. Rocky garnered even more attention during this time when he joined Kendrick Lamar as the opening act for Drake's Club Paradise tour back in 2012. In June 2012, Space Ghost Perp, founder of Miami-based collective Raider Clan and Rocky's past collaborator, accused A$AP 12 of jumping one of Raider Clan's members, and because of that, disassociated himself from the A$AP mob and Rocky in a YouTube video. He and Raider Clan also accused A$AP mob of copying their style, and Rocky of using lyrics from Space Ghost Perp's My Enemy on Goldie. Rocky responded on a July interview for MTV saying that Space Ghost Perp is, quote, "trying to build hype and should stick to making beats." In July 2012, Rocky performed at Pitchfork Music Festival. He was scheduled to make his television debut on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon on July 20, but he was then arrested the night before after an alleged involvement in a brawl with 21-year-old artist Rome. The scuffle took place in downtown Manhattan, and the performance was cancelled. This fight was started after A$AP Rocky and his crew were being followed and harassed and taken pictures of by Rome and his friend. Growing up in Harlem, this isn't the first time the rapper has gotten into a street fight, nor will it be the last time, as we know from current headlines today. Following the success of his mixtape, A$AP Rocky released his first studio album titled Long Live A$AP, which was released on January 15th, 2013, to mostly positive reviews from critics. The album debuted at #1 on Billboard 200 with first week sales of 139,000 copies in the United States. It was a continuation of the psychedelic and intoxicating sound found in his popular debut mixtape. However, this time, Rocky received less hate due to the fact he already established that he wasn't one to follow trends, so people were already expecting something unique. In May 2015, A$AP Rocky followed up his commercial debut with At Long Last A$AP. It was a sprawling masterwork that combines all of Rocky's best qualities. However, just before Rocky released the album, his close friend and mentor, A$AP Yams, died. This death devastated Rocky and greatly affected the rollout of the album. Although At Long Last A$AP was an even better album than the first, the sales didn't do too well. Although Yams was never one to take the spotlight, He was the backbone for the ASAP Mob crew and a great influence on Rocky and his art. The content, as well as the marketing for Rocky's album, was influenced heavily by Yams, and without Yams, Rocky was lost. After the loss of his close friend, Rocky took a hiatus from music and focused on other endeavors, such as modeling.
Hey, my nigga, on the real, hey, stop texting me, don't call me with all that old weird, hey, bros, hey, facts. It's big facts, bro, I'm facts. I'm in LA, let's link up, facts. No, my nigga, pause. I don't care how much they paid you. That nigga thought he could just post that shit in China, like, oh yeah, y'all good. It's facts in China, bro, it's facts. He thought he could post it. That nigga Rocky posted that UV. Pause, nigga.
Although he appeared on features here and there, he didn't release a work of his own until 3 years later in 2018 with the release of his third studio album, Testing. Again, just like his first mixtape, as well as his last album, just before the release of this album, Rocky was struck with tragedy as his sister sadly passed away. With the release of the Testing album, a majority of people were excited, but then disappointed soon after. They were expecting a continuation of the sound A$AP Rocky has curated for himself, seen in the first 2 albums. But what people don't realize is that this curation was largely in part due to the help of Yams. To continue on that sound and pretend like Yams didn't die would only have resulted in a watered down version of this curation. Although in my opinion, this album is unique and largely underrated, it is safe to say that this album doesn't have any real foundation to it. Rocky is taking his first steps towards a new style, new sound, and new curation. But with his closest friends, families, and influences dying left and right, these steps are being met with obstacles. Currently, A$AP Rocky is in jail in Sweden for getting into an altercation with 2 alleged fans. The fans went from verbally to physically assaulting Rocky and his entourage. This ended with both parties being jailed. However, because Rocky isn't a citizen, he was kept in jail while the ones that started the fight in the first place were released within 2 days. Growing up in a rough environment and having a life filled with tragedy, A$AP Rocky isn't one to back away from any challenge. He doesn't let people or tradition dictate what he can and can't do. Always pursuing his interests, regardless of the norms, A$AP Rocky has a unique sense of artistic style and taste. Not many people could say they used to live in the streets of Harlem, while also having a close relationship with some of the most respected designers in fashion, such as Raf Simons. This is Star. Subscribe for more content about anything in the realm of hip-hop, from hip-hop news, to music, to fashion, and more. I would also appreciate it if y'all could leave a like on the video and comment below the next video I should make.